Now's the time that I'm going to give each of the candidates 2 minutes for closing statements. And since we haven't heard from them in a while, we'll start off with the mayoral candidates. So I'll ask Marc to get up. Okay, well, we'll have Marc come up.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think that anybody that's, I'm not going to stand behind it. I think that anybody that's attended a village meeting in the last several years has realized that we have a management issue, clearly. The meetings start at 7 and sometimes end the same day. We go long, we argue, and we discuss things in round-robin sessions that sometimes, as some of the trustees have pointed out, aren't really applicable to what we do as legislators on the board. What they are applicable to is what the executive does, what the manager of the village does. And the problem we have is we haven't had a manager in the village who can really get those things done. We haven't had a manager in the village who can really lead the department heads. And we have wonderful people out there, but they get mired in muck. We just stop and we spin our wheels and we don't make forward progress, and it goes on and on. There are issues that have literally come before the board this year that have been out there for 25 years. There are issues that employees have brought to us, and 8 months later, we get around to answering them. That's not acceptable. As a resident here, when I was coming to board meetings and not on the board, I thought, maybe I'm catching the wrong meeting. I caught a bad night, but it's not a bad night. Every meeting becomes the same thing where we go around and around, and there's times, and anyone who's been there, I see all the heads shaking up and down. There's times that you gotta gavel it in and say, you know what? Is this a conversation we should have, or is this for a public hearing? You know, it's a special use permit. This is something that the public has to hear. We need to do that. Is this a conversation we should have as trustees, or is this something that the executive can handle? Politics is no fun. I got to be honest with you. I was real excited, and those of you who know me, I was real excited. Yeah, I'm going to run for mayor. It's going to be great. We can make a difference. We can do things in the village, and I love the village. My kids love it. We're going to make it all better. And then you get to the negative part where it's all politics. It's not about sharing ideas anymore. It's about going out and trying to defend. And you know, you have people who met you once for 5 minutes who write letters to paper. That's part of the process. That's a part of the game. I think that this is a hiring decision, like I said, and I think we have an opportunity to really take this village places that we want it to go as residents and as taxpayers. And I hope to get your vote to do that. I think together we're going to go a long way in the next 4 years. Thank you.
My turn now. I like the podium. I don't mind that. I think, first of all, I just have to acknowledge what a privilege it's been to be an elected official for the last 2 years as trustee. And I have to acknowledge Harold Hopkinson and Scott McGrew as my initial running mates that got me on the board. And Harold, who is not a braggadocious man, who has the longest record for serving as trustee in New York State, over 50 years and counting. And I'm privileged, Harold, that you will be with me as mayor, there at my side to help me in my first 2 years as mayor of Manlius. But I also have to acknowledge Trustee Miner and Kraus for helping me in those first 2 years as well become the trustee that I am today. Because some of the things we're talking about, yeah, we can streamline and we can make better. But for me, at the core of all of this are hearts and spirits for people that really want to serve. So for me, politics is fun. Getting out and meeting you is fun. Promoting the village of Manlius and what all it can be is great. Because you know what, folks? The bottom line is the things that Manlius can't do are only the things that the village of Manlius chooses not to do. That together we can come together and we all are going to have an imprint on this village ultimately. Whether you are an elected official, a resident, a business owner, we're all going to have an impact. We're just stewards, temporary stewards of an amazing piece of real estate. But it's the spirit and the heart of that I want to maintain. Because I know in 40 years, when someone else is standing in front of you saying that they want to run for mayor, trustee, or justice, that it's because they want to pay back a village that's given so much to them, that they want to step up and serve, that they want to dedicate their time, that they want to dedicate their talent. I'm honored to tell you that my running mates, Janice Abdo, Mark Hills, Eric Kraus, I might want to touch longer, and Joe Greenman, they have stepped up to a plate willingly, enthusiastically, with a lot of vivacity and a lot of ideas, and we're going to be able to work together, and we're going to be able to get where we want to go. Because at its core, no one loves the village more than the 5 of us. We truly, truly do. and I look forward to serving as your mayor, and I will work as hard as I can as your mayor. I want to thank my mother, who by example in her life and
Mark,
running,
I'm sorry, 2 minutes is the limit.
in her
I'm
business,
sorry.
me too, in her business,
Excuse me, we
sorry.
need to sit down. Sorry about that.